All right, guys, moving on now to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Hunter Johnson, who asked me to do a Ed and Eddy Jeepers Creepers crossover. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over to my Patreon, hit the third tier. That will allow you access to do so. But other than that, let's get started with the video. So this story, basically, it's the 23rd spring of the 23rd year of, and for 23 days it gets to eat. And the creeper is awoken and it's gone out into the world to feed for 23 days. Meanwhile, the Eds, who are enjoying a spring break, who are in the middle of spring break, Eddy gathers his friends at the junkyard, and he's like, "Tell me, boys, what do you guys miss the most about Halloween?" And they're like, "Candy? True. Horror movies? You can watch them anytime, Ed. Pumpkin spice? Ed, just sit down." So Eddy explains, for spring break, we're halfway to Halloween. How about we make a haunted house this early in the season? And Double D's like, "Eddy, that's a horrible idea. It's spring. I would be more open to the idea of doing a haunted house during like the autumn season, like maybe like September, maybe, but like it's too early for Halloween stuff." And he's like, "That's right, Double D. Every year Christmas encroaches more and more on us, on our Halloween season and whatnot. How about we encroach further and further with Halloween stuff coming out more?" And he's like, "All right, but where are we going to find a haunted house?" So Eddy explains, "Leave that to me." So he leads them to the old rundown house in the cul-de-sac where the Cankers had lured them to. So the Eds get to work on making a haunted house in the middle of spring. Meanwhile, the creeper has been flying further and further out into the world, feeding on people left and right. And he smells something in the air. Like he just smells something, like an interesting scent. And he takes off and flies to Peach Creek. Meanwhile, back with the Eds are just kind of like in the middle of building a. They're basically in the middle of building building the haunted house, like I said, and the Eds are like just kind of putting stuff together, and it's like Eddy's brings up, "Man, how come there's not a lot of spooky stuff we can use?" And he's like, "Oh," and Double D's like, "Oh, I don't know, Eddy. Maybe because it's springtime and no one's thinking about Halloween right now." Nah, that can't be it. So they have to like paint and make up like skeletons and ghosts and whatnot, and even make and then Ed's like, "Can I wear a monster costume?" "Absolutely not, Ed. Not after last time." "Oh, but I want to be a monster." "You can take the tickets, Ed." Okay. So later that night, the haunted house is done, and Eddy basically announces to the rest of the cul-de-sac that, "Hey, the Eds have created a halfway to Halloween haunted house. Having spooky withdrawals, wishing you could have some candy, or wishing you could get a good scare in your life? Well, not anymore. Welcome to Ed's House of Horrors, where the real horror is getting out." Booga, booga, booga. Eddy would probably just do that at last second, So Kevin and the other cul-de-sac kids are like, whatever. But Ralph is the first one to go, "Ho ho! The three square Ed boys think they can scare the son of a shepherd. Well, Ralph has been missing the old times of spookiness. Therefore, I'd accept your challenge of spooky times, Ed." So the rest of the cul-de-sac kids are like, "All right, cool, yeah, let's do it." However, what no one knows is that the creeper has snuck into the house. He's actually snuck into the haunted house, and is now like making his way to like hide among the work, among all the work that the Eds have done. So the Eds lead group in there after paying their toll, and is like, "Behold the horrors from beyond, from the Black Lagoon." And it's like this bad-looking creature from the Black Lagoon, poorly made animatronic that Double D whipped up, and they're like, lame. So they're trying to be scared, but all the little pop-up stuff and like bad recordings and whatnot, it's just not working. However, as they go further into the thing, the creeper like springs out and like launches and like scares them, and they're like, haha, right, yeah, now this is better. Double D, you did great on that. I don't remember making that one. So the creeper tries to scare them, but they're just like, oh, this is so cool, it's so, this is so awesome. So they think it's just they just think it's kind of awesome. They just think it's like another cool monster, and every time the creeper tries to get close to them, like something bad happens to the monster, where like either a faulty piece of the haunted house breaks off and hits him, or they're just not scared of him, and he needs to feed off that fear. So the creeper is just trying desperately to get them scared, and it's like trying to scare them every so often, and they're just like, oh right, yeah. That's so cool. I guess the dorks really put their money into one solid monster. Give them that. And the creeper is just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why aren't they scared of me? So by this point, the creeper just decides, I'm gonna go all out. Like, throws off its jacket and a hat and shows off like its wings, its full form. And that's when they suddenly get it. It's like, oh, that's not an animatronic or anything like that. That's a real thing. So now they're scared, and now the creeper is trying to feed on them. However, Ed didn't listen when they said he couldn't be a monster. What happened was Ed put on his old monster costume and has now busted in like, rah! But when he sees the creeper, he's like, monster fight! And just dogpiles the creeper and proceeds to just beat the ever-loving shit out of this monster. Like, he is just wailing on it again and again, and the creeper's just like, get the fuck off me! Like, and the Ed monster is just like throwing the creeper around, smashing him, crashing it, throwing him into walls and stuff. And the creeper now is like trying to just desperately get away at this point. Like, it is just trying its best to like flee from the situation. It is just like, I've had enough of this. I need to get the fuck out of here and, recoup my losses. But Ed's just like, nope, silly monster. You can't run away from a monster fight. And proceeds to just slam his head through like a spike, and it goes through its head, and everyone's like, whoa, Ed, it's okay. Monsters play rough, guys. So the creeper at this point like pulls the rebarb out of its jaw, and it's just like, and just like all dizzy and shit. And the creeper at this point's about to like leave, but that's when Ed like tears a chunk out of the house, bringing it all down on the creeper. And yeah, he's now buried under shit. Everyone manages to get out as the house is falling apart, and they're just like, what was that thing? I don't know, but I think it's gone. However, the creeper explodes out of the debris and is just pissed off and about to kill everyone. But the thing is, it took him a while to get here, and it is now his 23rd day, and it's over. So he just is like, no, crap. It just shrivels up and goes back into hibernation mode. And this gives Eddy an idea. The idea being, come see the Peach Creek Creeper, only 25 cents, and proceeds, I don't know how long we can run with this, but it's going to be a while. And meanwhile, Double D's just flabbergasted, because he is like, what the hell just happened? I have to, study this thing. So, for the next 23 years, the Eds make money off of showcasing the Creeper. Yeah. So there you go, guys. That is the Ed, and Eddy Jeepers Creepers crossover. I want to thank Hunter Johnson for this Patreon request, as well as continued patronage. And yeah, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.